Hi, I'm Dominic Lombardi, and with these works, this series is titled Urchins, and what I'm dealing with here is my, I guess, 20-plus year obsession with repurposing or recycling material, and also I'm focusing on, as I often do, marginalized people. People that, especially now in the economy that we're in, the ones that I guess feel it the worst and have the most problems. I mentioned in one of my intents the figure of Charlie Chaplin, as being the model of what that is, somebody who's fighting against things that he could never overcome, but always manages to land on his feet, or at least find happiness or love or something at the end of the film. And that's kind of what I hope for these figures.
I've always wanted to express myself creatively, and I find that not being satisfied with more traditional methods of drawing and paint and canvas, it led me to mixed media. And so my work is kind of, each piece is sort of a little experiment, a little invention in itself, and very often the concept will kind of dictate where the materials go and what I use. Very often it's found objects, found materials, coupled with my own creations. I think flight comes into it a lot. Whether it's flight because of the psychological reasons, during the day I'm a graphic designer, so the idea of flight psychologically, it could have something to do with some kind of freedom.
I'm aware that the materials that I use are generally considered rubbish, but when I'm selecting them, I don't actually think, look at this rubbish, how can I transform it into something useful or beautiful? It's more like, look how beautiful this is, where can I take it, what can I do with it? And then generally some idea springs to life and takes me along for the ride. I'm intending to evoke the possibility of bird presence, obviously, and also of human presence, and some ambiguity around which creature has done what the interaction is, what the relationship is. I think one of the larger themes that I'm concerned with is the relation between culture and nature, between the built world and the natural world, and that it might usefully be not as adversarial as it is sometimes conceived of.
I'm most fascinated by things that people cast off. I gave up going to tag sales years ago because most of the things that I'm interested in, no person would put them out for sale in the yard or the garage. I mostly pick up my pieces in parking lots, stuff that has been run over and crushed, corroded, and the more cast off it is, the more it fascinates me.
Found lumber is very interesting to me and exciting and abstract, and it's always a challenge to find it, and it's a real thrill for me.
I make driftwood assemblages in heart shapes. The driftwood I find is generally beaten and bruised from the ocean. I find it, many of the pieces are formerly pieces that had a function: chairs, tables, benches, doors, all kinds. The idea of the heart to me is that it's life, and all of these pieces that formerly had a purpose in life, I've reconstituted in my art.
I'm interested in working with found objects, particularly parts of cars and trucks, which reflect my time living in Detroit, Michigan. These pieces are generally made from parts of cars and trucks. This piece in particular is made from, the top part is made from a car section. It was a friend of mine's car, and the parts are reshaped. I like to take whatever is seen and form it to something else, and then they're welded together in a different way. In this case, it's an assembly line with 3 houses, sort of in disrepair, and it reflects the state of Detroit. Hundreds of thousands of lives have been affected by Detroit. You know, if you're driving a car in New York or in California or in Alaska, up until a few years ago, you were driving a car made by people who lived there, worked in homes, had families, and were part of the American dream. And that's been changing as the economy has changed.
My name is Susan Mann. I'm a sculptor, and the work that's exhibited in this exhibition deals with my relationship of the wood that I work with and the found materials that you see around. I bring to life materials that have been discarded and that are no longer of value to society or other people, and I find beauty in these particular pieces that I can incorporate in my work.